In the previous video, I covered how to enable the artifacts window in Claude 3 Sonnet. Simply go to the link in the description and you'll be able to watch that video to see how to enable the artifacts window. The artifacts window can be used for quite a number of things, and one of the things we can use it to do is to maybe display something like a game or something. So I'm going to prompt Claude, create for me a chess game that is playable in the artifacts window, and once I get to submit this prompt, it's going to definitely generate the code for that. And once it's done, you can see it has generated a chess game within the artifacts window. I'm a chess player, so I can try to play this, though the black player is not really playing. Let me see. So this is meant to be for a two-player people, whereby I can move a piece and then the other person also gets to move a piece. However, I want to modify the prompt so that I can play against the computer. So I'm going to modify the prompt and say, in the chess game, let me play against the computer. It's going to modify what it had already created for me. So after it has finished modifying, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to move this piece. Though something kind of seems off because it moved its castle and ate my pawn here, which is against the rules of chess. So I guess it's not working as expected if I put it that way. However, this is just a start and there's definitely a lot of room for improvement here. It's moving the castles, eating mine, jumping over the pieces, which is against the rules. So let me try and see if I could modify it. So I'm going to prompt it with a new prompt. Since it's not following the chess rules, I'm going to modify it and tell it to follow all the chess rules for all the pieces, and then we see how that goes. So once it's done modifying the game, so we can now try it out again. Let me move the pawn here. And that's a valid move. Okay. It's going to eat my bishop. I'll eat the bishop. Move this back here. So definitely, as you can see, the game is actually working fine. Let me check it. No. I checked the king. The king can't stay in the line of check. So as you can see, there's definitely an improvement, but then you can keep updating your prompts and keep modifying it until when it's working as expected or giving you the expected results. This is an interesting new thing, so definitely you can play around with and try to create as many different games as much as possible. I don't know what it just did. And I've eaten the king and the game is still going on. So definitely there is a lot of room for improvement, but then this is just the beginning and this is something that is actually interesting moving forward. So I guess this will only get better with time. Let's try and create another game. So now let's try to prompt it to create another game and then we see how this goes. I'm looking at the snake game. So as you can see, it has finished creating the snake game. So this is something we can try out. So I'm having this with my keyboard. And it has created this on the first shot. Though it still has some errors because it says game over, even though I haven't yet broken any rules. But definitely, there's a lot of potential for this, as you can see. So it seems to break off, it seems to end the game every time I press the right key, which shouldn't be the case, but then you can definitely keep prompting it to keep improving it until when this is perfect. And in case you want to have access to the code, there's a preview tab here and a code tab, and in the code tab you can see the code that it's actually using to create this. And by default, it seems to be using React to create all the code generations it's coming up with for the games I've been creating. So you can copy the contents, you can download the file of the code that you have created and be able to run it locally on your machine. And I think this is kind of interesting. So besides being able to create games in the artifacts window, let's try out a different prompt and see how we can visualize data. So I've told it to create a family tree over 5 generations, and this is what it has come up with. With this model that has come up, something I've noticed is you really have few messages. That's if you're on the free tier. The messages kind of get really less and less. So I think to fully enjoy this, you would have to actually purchase the pro plan. So as you can see, it says I have 3 messages remaining, but when I try to submit this, it kind of gives me the error message of I've exceeded the length limit for this chart. So definitely it's worth checking out the Pro version. With this, I believe it's kind of going in the right direction. This is something that is going to definitely improve in the future, which I can't wait to try out with the newer updates they make. But that's it. Thank you for watching and hit the subscribe button.